Welcome back to the Media Unrestricted podcast. I'm Chase.
And I'm Dylan.
I know we promised that we would be live on this episode, but things kind of been happening. Me and Dylan have been with different schedules, so probably for the future, just for a little bit, this will be the way the shows will be brought to you. So we hope you like the all audio versions because it's definitely a little bit easier for us to bring them to you. We don't have a big show lined up for you. Just not few topics and a review coming at you, which we're going to start with that one first with the review of Venom: Let There Be Carnage. Um, at, on the quick out of the thoughts, I thought the movie was really good. I did enjoy it a lot. And more if I've been thinking about it, I still love it a lot. I do think it is better than the first, for sure. Um, it's just I definitely cannot put it in um, number one spot or number two or three, um, for sure. I think it's probably maybe a four or five. It's just been with these movies that's came out this year. It's been tough for it. But I think by the end of the year, it will definitely be in my top 10. That's for sure. But going on to it, I really like the Eddie and Venom chemistry. It's still just as fantastic as it was when the first one came out. It always flows and works perfectly. And this one, it definitely more puts it in the like a relationship because you know how Eddie was with Anne in the beginning of the first one, and then they broke up and everything. So more or less, Eddie is always going to be in a relationship with Venom, just in that kind of weird way. Um, but it's really fantastic to see them together. It's always it's either funny or just something that's always a memorable moment. But the big thing that I think is my top thing I loved, and I knew I was going to love going in, I was looking forward to was Carnage. Woody Harrelson as Carnage and Cletus Cassidy was everything and more. I mean, I know going in before I always wanted that R rating, which we didn't get sadly, and I feel like it could have been rated R. A couple times that might have actually maybe made it just a little bit better to put it up close to the top, but with them they didn't do it. But their Carnage was just everything I wanted. Uh, I really do like the Carnage character. I always like the look. I just and I think they nailed it. Every single thing. Every time Carnage was on screen, it was always something awesome and something cool. And I don't know. I'm glad we finally got Carnage. I think he was everything we needed and more. I'm just sad that they killed Cletus Cassidy off. I knew going in, I was hoping they wouldn't, because you know that's always how superhero movies. It seems like they got to kill off the villain. It's just not a good move. I mean, you believe like if comic books did that every single issue, kill off their villain. I mean, they're going to be out of business because they're just running out of characters to keep using. But I mean, you got to keep Carnage, but they just for some reason just had to feel they had to kill him off. Even like Venom ate Carnage, like the symbiote. It's that was I just that's one of my negative things because it's just not. You don't need to always kill off the villain. That's for every superhero movie. You don't need to do it. Keep your villain for future installments, and Carnage would have been the perfect one to keep coming back. But I mean, we did get Toxin. Teased the Toxin. We didn't get Toxin, but they did have his character, the guy who I can't remember what his name is. He's the cop Mulligan. They did have him in there, and toward the end, his eyes turn like the blue. So the symbiote kind of is in him. So in a future Venom movie, we will have Toxin, which is awesome, and I was hoping that for that. But I just want more Carnage. So hopefully, maybe because I remember Andy Serkis said like talking about it, maybe that a symbiote. He's not ruling out that Woody Harrelson's character, Cletus Cassidy, is dead. maybe like a symbiote is somewhere, and maybe he can revive. I don't know. I would love to see Carnage come back. And um, Michelle Williams, she did a great job in the first one, and she did a great job in this one. She definitely isn't in this one as much, but she was She Venom again, which I love in the first one, and I loved it in this one as well. It was a nice surprise because I kind of wasn't expecting it. And I can't remember what her husband's name is, or boyfriend in the first one, and are going to be they are engaged in this one. I can't remember what his name is, but for what he's always in, he's always good just as well. The action scenes were top notch, definitely toward the end. They were really in that church fight scene. That was really good. I liked every single moment of that. Um, I do agree with what Dylan said. And out of your thoughts, why does it always have to be at nighttime? That's kind of what the Godzilla thing is. All the movies fought at nighttime, so they finally gave the fans what they wanted with a daytime fight. So Dylan, I definitely understand where you're coming from on that because every fight does not have to take place at nighttime. But it's not a big deal. You can definitely see what's going on, so that's still cool. But the other major complaint I have is the runtime. Only being an hour and a half. It's not a bad thing. But I mean it's cool if it's only an hour and a half. But this movie, you definitely could tell could have added at least another 10 or 15 minutes. It just felt like kind of whenever Carnage came, that it was just boom, 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 done. That's it. Um, but I mean, I'm happy. I guess they kind of did an hour and a half, but I'm not because it's just I wanted longer. I didn't want it to be over with. Definitely, kind of after the movie, it's just like, can we just redo it again and just watch it for another hour and a half? But it kind of is what it is because even the first Venom, because there's the two end credit scenes, like the one that with Woody Harrelson's character, and then the one that was set up that was like a Spider-Man to Spider-Verse like scene. The first one is actually only about a little bit about around the same time, which is just for a superhero movie. It's definitely a crazy thing to think. Only an hour and a half. That's like a comedy or like just something. But I guess that's just a little nitpick. Um, Dylan, do you want to say what the end credit scene was, the big one that everyone's talking about?
Yeah, before I get into the end credit scene, I want to give my thoughts on the movie just real quick. My review is going to be shorter. Um, it's going to be it's probably going to be quite a bit shorter than yours because you hit on all the points that I had. Like Eddie and Venom's relationship is great. Uh, his ex girlfriend, her character is great in this movie too. Her fiance is great in this movie. Woody Harrelson and Shriek are both great in this movie. Like I liked their relationship as well. Um, some of my stuff in this movie, some of my criticisms are the same as yours. Could have done with a longer runtime. Uh, we should have got more Carnage action in this movie. I don't feel like we got enough Carnage. I mean, like I said, I like the movie, but I don't feel like we got enough of the Carnage character. And another complaint I've seen from some people who saw it, and they're like, "This is called Let There Be Carnage, but where's all the carnage?" I do agree with that. I feel like the only carnage we really got in this movie was Carnage biting off a few heads, and then the scene of him breaking his girlfriend out of the asylum prison place or whatever, you know? Like or not that, or was it when he was escaping no, it was when he was escaping the prison, when he was just going ham on all the guards and stuff. Like, I feel like that's some of the only carnage we got in this movie, and like, I feel like it's moments like that where we really could have benefited from an R rating because we needed some more brutality and some blood from Venom, or from Carnage, I should say. But yeah, the end credit scene um is with Eddie and Venom at like some Mexican. They're on a Mexican beach with Venom's toes in the sand because he's been saying that's what he wants to do, and then they go to like a sort of rundown looking hotel ish room that's right next to the beach, and while they're laying in bed, they're watching a Spanish telenovela, and Venom tells Eddie like we symbiotes have basically a hive mind over the different universes that span billions and billions of years. And I can let you in on a little bit of that knowledge, but it might melt your tiny little brain. And then Eddie's like, okay, let's do it. And then as soon as they start doing that, you just see like their environment around them start shifting, and it's very reminiscent of the Into the Spider Verse. How you saw like the stuff shifting around them in those movies when they got pulled into the other universes. But you then see Eddie like the shifting around him, and then all of a sudden he's in like a nice hotel room with a like a towel swan next to him, and Venom's like, "What the hell is that?" And then all of a sudden they look on the TV and they see J. Jonah Jameson, and it's the J. Jonah Jameson from the MCU with like his shaved head and the Infowars style Daily Bugle talking about Spider-Man as Peter Parker as Spider-Man, and it's got Tom Holland's Spider-Man on there. And then Venom licks the screen, and he says that guy, and then I think he says that guy first, and then licks the screen, and then you see a guy come out of the bathroom and say, "What the hell are you doing in my room?" And then Eddie basically has no explanation for it, and that's pretty much how the end credit scene goes. So it's like a pretty cool end credit scene that really ties it. That basically confirms that Venom, like, he was transported to the MCU, which I think is freaking awesome. Which I think is fucking cool. I'm not gonna go PG on that. That it was fucking awesome. And I'm looking forward to seeing if Venom's going to be in No Way Home. There are some rumors that he is going to be in a small role, or that he's going to play into either Venom 3 or Spider-Man 4. So I think we'll have to see on that one.
I did love this end credit scene so much. It's gonna make this future in December with Spider-Man No Way Home very, very interesting to see what they do, if Venom is gonna be in there and just everything. But I think maybe this was Tony Khan spoiling that Venom is going to be in the MCU. Um, I don't know if Tony Khan meant to do that or if he knew what he was doing, but I really think Tony Khan kind of spoiled it for everyone when you read it. But no matter what, we were both surprised. I had a feeling going in, that's what it had to be. But Dylan, then you said that uh, the end credit scene is not what people are expecting. So then I'm like, well, maybe it's Morbius or something. But this end credit scene did everything it needed to and more. And like I said, December when No Way Home comes out, this future is going to be interesting just to see how they play. Hopefully, we get answers, not more questions. Hopefully, we get those questions answered. So we'll see. Just about 3 months, or 2, 3 months, we will have our answers. So I can't wait to bring those to you. I definitely love Venom. Recommend it. Give it an 8 out of 10. See it on the big screen. I know James Bond's coming out, so the IMAX is going to be tough for you to get it in, but that was a fun experience where it fits the whole screen. It just works that way. But yeah, 8 out of 10, definitely recommend. And our next topic comes from Joe Blow, which is a YouTuber, and he also has a website about the Scream trailer release date might be coming this weekend. Um, there is the 25th anniversary coming up this weekend on the 10th and 11th. It will be shown in the original Scream will be shown in theaters, and people are saying that the trailer might be attached to that. It's not been 100% clarified, but it's just kind of been going around. Um, because there's a thing in London is where this is all coming from. That the trailer they announced that the trailer will be released very soon, uh, and it says that on October 11th, which is the Monday one, it says the chance to be one of the first audiences in the world to see the next installment in the franchise, which is Scream 2022. And now they're also saying that the trailer from hellosydney.com, which is the fan website, that will run about 2 minutes and 21 seconds. And it has been approved from the Canadians, Province of Alberta, and will supposedly reach the theaters on October 10th. Uh, so, I mean, there's a high chance that we may have the trailer this weekend. And I know they also released emoji for Ghostface, which they had a tag on Twitter saying that something is coming in 7 days, which would be after the screening. So maybe that they're going to release it exclusively for the 2 days for the event, just to get everyone kind of excited they could be there, and then they release it to the public. Kind of like what Jurassic World Dominion did with IMAX Fast and the Furious. Like you had to see it then because we still don't have the trailer for that. So me and Dylan both have tickets to see the Scream 25th anniversary on Sunday at 7 o'clock. Me and him, I don't know if he wants to, but we might do a um, out of the theater thoughts. I mean, I know everyone's seen Scream, so everyone knows how we feel, and probably, and I definitely like to bring it to you and probably give you quick thoughts on the trailer if we get it, which I'm really hoping we do, because I know people were kind of questioning, is it going to be postponed? Which I knew we wouldn't, but um, yeah, if October 10th, October 11th, Scream 25th anniversary, if it's coming to your theaters, Phantom Event is putting it on for people. Check your theaters and see if you can get tickets because it's going to be a fun time. I love Scream. I just hope we get that trailer. We'll see this weekend.
Dude, I can't tell you how excited I am for the Scream 25th anniversary, man. We grew up watching those movies, and I know they came out before. The first one, I think, came out in '96, which is the year we were born. But, like, we grew up on those movies, and it's a shame we didn't get to see them in theaters. I guess because of how young we were, and we weren't really horror movie fans when we were like 3 or 4. But you know, we get to see the new. I think you might have seen. I th- I think we might have seen Halloween 4 in theaters. I can't. Or it's not Halloween 4. It's Scream 4. But we'll get to see Scream 5 in theaters, which I'm super happy about, and get to see where the franchise goes from there. I don't know if they have any plans to continue it, but I'd love to see them continue it. But yeah, why do I keep saying Halloween? The Scream 25th anniversary is going to be so exciting, and if they do play the Scream 5 trailer before it, like that's going to be so exciting to see. I hope because our theater is filling up for that 25th anniversary, and I know if they play that trailer, that theater is going to be hopping with excitement. I just absolutely can't wait.
And our next topic comes from Screen Rant, where Jason Blum doesn't want the Halloween franchise to end after Halloween ends. Um, Jason Blum was speaking to comicbook.com, and he voiced his pleasure in making more Halloween movies after Halloween ends releases. Blum explained that while his team focuses is currently on making the third movie, which is not yet filmed yet, he would be thrilled if their installment in the franchise extends beyond that. However, Blum has no plans at this moment to continue it. But here's what his quote had to say. We made the arrangement to 3 movies. We have a 3-picture marriage with Michael Myers. I would love to extend it if Melik Akkad would like us to. I'd love to I'd love to extend it, but we're very busy making sure the third movie is spectacular because that's our immediate job. And if it goes beyond that, I'd be thrilled. But there are currently no plans for us to be involved after the third movie. Uh, and then Ryan Friedman, who's a producer, he had to say about the possibility of extending the franchise, but going the way John Carpenter originally did with Season of the Witch. He had to say, I think there are other ways and other mediums in which to explore the franchise. He brings up the possibility of remaking Season of the Witch, which is the third movie in the Halloween franchise that did not feature Michael Myers in it. If Myers does not meet his end in Halloween Ends, the franchise could always shift gears toward like continuing the franchise, or if he would meet his end, then they could maybe go like with the Halloween 3 and kind of go off these different Halloween stories. Which, regardless, I'd be all right with either of them. Um, I love seeing Michael Myers doing his thing and everything. I would love for it to go further. But if they would go down the Season of the Witch, I wouldn't mind it, because Season of the Witch, I know a lot of people hate it just because Michael Myers is not in it. It's not a bad movie at all. It's definitely one, if you turn your mind off thinking that Michael Myers is not in this, and it's just like called Season of the Witch or something like that, you'll have a great time with it. I can promise you that. Um, so the Halloween future is definitely up for thing. What is going to happen after Halloween Ends, which comes out next year on October 14th. So we'll see. I'm curious to see how that all plays out. If we get to see more Michael, or if we go the Halloween 3 route. Only time will tell where we go with that.
Yeah, Chase, I'd be 100% down for some more Michael Myers after Halloween ends. If like the article does say, like Ryan Freeman says, um, or it's not Ryan Freeman that's saying it. It's part of the article, but the article says that if Myers does meet his end in Halloween ends, the franchise goes shift gears, something like the storyline of Halloween 3. If he does die in Halloween ends, I'll be okay with that. And like you were just saying, Halloween 3, even though doesn't have Michael Myers in it, it's not really that bad of a movie. Like, I think me and you rewatched it either last year or 2 years ago around Halloween, and I had a really enjoyable, fun time with it. It's like a really dark story, and for how like for just a movie about Halloween, it's a really cool story, like about masks that are really popular with kids, and at a certain time, like I think the masks will kill the kids. I think that's what the story is after it plays on like a TV program. Like all of that's like it's really interesting premise, and I'd be interested to see where they go with that. In some of the trailers for Halloween Kills, we see some of the masks that were in Season of the Witch, because we see like the pumpkin. I think it's pumpkin, witch, Frankenstein, all those kind of thing masks. And on the back, on they show on the back of the masks, it has the silver shamrock uh, logo on the back of it, which I think is really cool. So I'm interested to see where the franchise goes after Halloween ends, and if it goes the way of Halloween 3 Season of the Witch and like anthologies like that, I would be more than happy with that.
Next topic is box office numbers for this past weekend. I went the way I knew it would, but I did not expect how much Venom was going to make. Venom made 90 million, crushing all the competition. No one even was close in this one. But that's awesome. And I really think that is because it's in theaters only. No streaming, no nothing. So if anybody wants to see the film, they have to go to the theaters. So the money is just going to rack it up. And that's where I think Halloween Kills is going to have a problem, because everyone's going to want to stay at home and watch it on Peacock. So I guess we'll see how that comes in 2 weeks. I know we got Bond this week, and I know that's predicted. I think over 100 million. We'll see if that turns out the way it does, because I think that's theaters only too. I might be wrong. But number two was Adam's Family too, with 18 million. I mean, that's just crazy. 90 million to 18 million. I mean, nowhere near. And I thought Adam's Family actually had a chance to get close, but not number one, but close. But this is insane to me. Um, Shang-Chi had 6 million. The Many Saints of Newark, which I really thought the Sopranos fans would maybe go out, but that is also HBO Max. So I think there again, HBO Max kills another movie from making money. But I could be wrong. Maybe a lot of people don't want to see that, but it made 4 million. And Dear Evan Hansen came in at number 5 with 2 million. So, as I said, Venom definitely crushed everyone at the box office, which was like no surprise. And I know Bond is going to do the same thing this week. But I still hope people go out and support Venom. It definitely would love to have your support. Um, but we'll really see. I love this. Kind of curious to see how they all stack up next week. And TV show news, I couldn't find anything worth talking about. But Dylan, if you have something you want to talk about, you can go ahead.
Yeah, Chase, there's actually a story that came out yesterday from Joaquin Phoenix about Joker 2. Um, Whenever it came out, we said we'd love to see a sequel and see where they would go with it. I know some people say it doesn't need a sequel and all that, but I'd be interested in seeing a sequel. And Joaquin Phoenix said he's down for a sequel. He just doesn't know if it's going to happen or not. Um, he spoke to the playlist and he simply said he didn't know if the rumors of Joker 2 were true. When asked if he would be on board for a sequel, Phoenix said, in quotes, "There are some things we could do with this guy and could explore further, but as to whether we actually will, I don't know." And I think, yeah, and Todd Phillips, he originally said that they had no plans for a sequel, but Warner Brothers wanted them to do a sequel, and with the movie's box office success, Todd Phillips said, "I think they're just giving us time, and if we can figure it out, and if Joaquin's down to do it, we would do it. But we haven't gotten near that yet." And that was, I think, back when the movie came out. And so at the moment, uh, nobody really knows if a Joker 2 will happen. The director himself said if Joaquin's down to do it, they would do it. And from this quote here, it definitely sounds like he's down to do it, which I would be 100% open to. And if they did, I would really hope that it would tie into uh, Robert Pattinson's Batman. I doubt it will, or it would, but it would be cool if it did. Um, yeah, I don't have any TV things. I know we had a few finales. We had The Walking Dead season 11 part A finale, which I mean wasn't isn't really much to talk about, and we had the What If season finale, which was okay. I thought it was a bit rushed, but I'm not going to go into really any details. I thought the episode could have lent itself to being about an hour instead of 35 minutes because there was a lot of story there they didn't tell. I feel like they kind of just threw the characters into the team so quickly without slowing down and letting stuff simmer for a bit. But in regards to TV news and stuff like that, I mean, that's pretty much all I got.
And moving on to our final question, our fun question, which we will do this week: favorite Halloween TV episodes. Um, Mine's kind of a wide array, I guess, of things. My number three would be the Office Halloween episode from season two, which is the episode where Michael has to fire somebody before the end of the day. And that's the one where Dwight's dressed up as Darth Sidious, and he fires. Was gonna fire Creed, but then fires. Oh, oh, oh. Um, Forgetting his name. I can't remember his name. Oh, it's bothering me. Oh, whatever. If I think about it, I'll come back. But yeah, this is a great episode. I think the best one out of the Office Halloween episodes. I think it's kind of the best one out of like the holiday. I think the Christmas ones are good, but I think this one might be the best one because the second season is my favorite out of all the Office ones. Moving on to number two, any of the Simpsons Treehouse of Horror. Those are always just must watches for me every year. I need to watch at least one because they're always classics. To see what they do every year, kind of spoof things. They're always good because they always. I can't remember which one of my favorite would be. I like whenever at the end of one of them where it comes like the 3D and Homer's like with the regular people. I always like that one. That one was funny. Um, My number one goes to Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, Sweet 613, which is the ghost, the haunted one. Um, that one I actually just watched just last week, and it still holds up as just one of the funnest Sweet Life of Zach and Cody episodes. Um, I love the ghost factor. I think it's funny and just it's just the best one. I think I've maybe all of them. That's a tough thing because there are so many great episodes from that show. Um, But yeah, those are my favorite Halloween episodes. This is kind of a hard one to think of because there's just those are always my favorite time for TV episodes because there's a lot of good ones. But Dylan, what is yours?
Yeah, and I'm gonna get started here with my three. Starting off here, I have Ed, and Eddie's Boo Haw Haw. Now, this has become somewhat of a yearly tradition for me to watch for some reason, because Ed, and Eddie was one of my favorite shows when I was younger, and Ed, and Eddie's Boo Haw Haw, like it had some of the coolest imagery I think I've seen in cartoons, other than uh, Courage the Cowardly Dog. And this episode really revolves around at the start the kids get or Eddie gets detention, and then I guess he escapes it or something. I can't remember. It's been a while. I know it's every year pretty much, but I still don't have it tightened down pat in my head. But otherwise, the episode revolves around Eddie and Ed um, trying to look for Spookyville, which is a city that his older brother said has like full size candy bars and all that stuff, and Eddie's brother even gave him a map, which if you saw the map in the episode, it's clearly a fake map. But Ed, like the dumb one, he spent the whole day watching scary movies, and it's warped his perception of the people around him, except for Eddie and Ed. And what it does is his perception is warped so much that he sees all of his friends around him, like Naz and Rolf and all of them, as like the actual monsters that they're dressed up for as Halloween, and he ends up attacking them in his like delusions. And like whenever they show those people in their costumes on screen, since it's in Ed's delusions, like it's some really cool imagery, and I highly recommend you watch it. And it just pretty much culminates at the end with all of those people just beating the shit out of the three of them. And it's just a really great episode of this show, and it's one of my favorite Halloween things to watch every year. My second one is another classic from Cartoon Network, and that is Billy and Mandy's Jacked Up Halloween. And what this revolves around is um, Grimm tells Billy and Mandy a story about a jokester in the Middle Ages named Jack, who pranked a lot of people and stuff, and he even tried to prank Grimm, but Grimm ended up beheading him. And so Jack ends up coming back in the modern time and wants to get back at Grimm and behead him for beheading him back in the day. And what happens at the end is Grimm ends up defeating Jack and sending him to hell, and the demons basically torture him for all of the torture he put them through, like throughout their lives back in the Middle Ages. And it's just a really cool episode. Like my description, it really isn't in depth as much as the episode goes, and I highly recommend you watch the episode because it's super good. Moving on to my last one, it's even more of a classic than these two, and that is Scaredy Pants from what season of this? It's part of the first half of SpongeBob's first season. It's called Scaredy Pants, and this is the first episode, or the first Halloween episode of SpongeBob. And this is one of my favorite Halloween specials to watch every year. So SpongeBob is trying to figure out what costume he wants for Halloween, and then he ends up going with the Flying Dutchman. And he tries to go around scaring people, and it's not working. And then ultimately he tries to set up a scheme with Patrick to scare everybody at the Krusty Krab, because at the Krusty Krab, Mr. Krabs is holding a Halloween party. And Patrick ends up like cutting off all of SpongeBob's like spongy parts of his head and leaving just his brain. And whenever he takes that sheet off, everyone just sees his brain and they freak out at the end of the episode. And obviously, because it talks about SpongeBob being the Flying Dutchman does appear during this episode. And he tells him that he's not scary and all this. And then whenever he does reveal that he only has a brain under there, that's when the Flying Dutchman and everybody in that building starts getting scared. It's just one of those childhood favorites that you just love to watch every year. And I'm so glad I remember when this premiered, because this is just one of my favorite episodes of SpongeBob and animation, period. So that's all I got for our fun question.
And thank you for listening to this week's episode. We really appreciate it. If you could, please like and subscribe. And if you have any comments on any of the topics we did today, like what is your favorite TV show episodes, or what do you think about if Halloween wouldn't end and Scream? Do you think we might get the trailer? And what are you looking forward about that? And what were your thoughts on Venom? Me and Dylan would love to know what you all think. But yeah, if you please like, subscribe, we always appreciate your support and keeping the channel going. But we will talk to you all next week.